Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our Thursday Night Live. I'm just another brown girl in America, and they call me your favorite auntie. And I have my panel here. We got some people out of town having a good time on honeymoons. We got Jamel gonna pop in here in a second, a little later. But until then, we got some hot news for you. But I am going to let my panel introduce themselves and speak today. All right, go ahead, Spaces.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Spaces. My social is KNoWKi. If you go to YouTube, type in KNoWKi, you will see myself. I am 1/3 of the KNoWKi podcast. Join us, whenever you want to divulge in some interesting conversation to have some good laughs.
Hey, I'm Tim. I'm here in St. Louis. Love being on this panel with y'all, and just an old white guy trying to get by in America.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Scony, and I'm just here to get Tim to open his eyes. It's my calling in life.
Hey, I won't lie. When I didn't, just off first glance, that cat in Tim's background, I was like, "Is that a pig?"
She's a little
what
bit
the
big
heck?
for a cat, but it's
You
all
see,
right.
like in this angle right now.
Yeah, it
You
did.
don't see
It
the.
does. It does look like a piglet.
Oh, like one of the little baby ones.
I mean, minus
She'll
the
get out
tail,
of there.
because the tail is a giveaway. But like, what the heck?
That's
Sorry about that. She doesn't usually show up. I don't know what she's doing.
All right. Well, of course, and y'all know who I am. My name is Nikki, and I am just here to try to make common sense out of this not so common sense world. So, but we're going to get into some hot topics today. But speaking of hot topics, I want to play y'all a little promo reel because we are coming together live. We are taking it offline. All right. So, see, we'll check this out. We get into this.
Okay, let's be real. Modern dating isn't just broken, it's a crime scene. We've been sold a lie that situationships and hookup culture are enough, but on February 22nd, we are taking a sledgehammer to all of it. Love, lies, legacy. We out here to play games, and we ain't here to give you feel-good fluff. From the trap of modern feminism to why we have a generation of emotional men, we also got 15 minutes of intentional speed dating for you single ladies and men, 8 panelists and 0 filters. St. Louis, Missouri, Intertwined Wine Bar, February 22nd, starting at 2 p.m. I'll see you there.
All right.
Hey, you gotta send me that, Miss Nikki. I need to post that on my socials. What the
I'm
heck?
getting nervous.
I know, and then I cut it off before I can cut it off before his little debut.
Man, I stay away from them because they're mean.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, though, so I just need everybody to mark their calendars right now. You think the energy be high up in this stream? Wait until you see us in person on Sunday, February 22nd. We taking the show offline. Our first live event, Love, Lies, and Legacy. You see who is on the flyer. We got Spaces coming into town. We got Scony coming into town. So if you're here in St. Louis, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this. And for all your single ladies and men, we're going to have some speed dating. That will not be online, so don't worry. Nobody will see you getting your date on. All right? So everybody get that information February 22nd down at Intertwined Wine Bar, 4710 Virginia Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63111. 2-hour event. First 10 people get a complimentary drink called the Love Potion. I made it up myself. All right, so we'll see you there. All right.
Do panelists count?
Huh?
Do panelists count for the first people to be there?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You definitely gonna get a drink, of course. Aren't they? Definitely gonna do that. So we're gonna go ahead and hop right off into it. I want to go ahead with this first topic. I ran across and I thought it was a little bit interesting. So y'all let me know what you think. Hold on, she muted. What's that? Can y'all hear that?
Nope.
Can't hear.
It's not playing for me. Like she's still
I
right
can
now.
tell you what I think so far, though.
Her hair is crazy.
Oh, not her dead ends got dead ends.
Yeah, she got to chop off like about 4 inches.
So I'm gonna share the screen instead of using that downloaded version of it. Just give me a second. Sorry guys. Y'all could talk to the people while I'm taking care of this.
Hopefully she's not driving.
She probably is.
Looks like.
All right, we're gonna remove that. I'm getting this little string thing together. Kind of know what I'm doing a little bit.
So, Scone, you coming in next Saturday for our Sunday
I
show?
am, sir. I mean, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
And you know St. Louis a bit? Are you new to it?
I've been to St. Louis a lot when I was younger. I have family there. I've been to St. Louis all my life growing up.
How about you, Spaces? Same?
I'm actually looking forward to some emos and some Chinese food.
Oh, so you know about St. Louis, huh?
Every time I come.
All right, here we go, y'all. Hopefully you can hear it.
Take responsibility, they assume it means blame, but it doesn't. When men hear take responsibility, they assume it means blame, but it doesn't. Responsibility is not a fault. It's your authority. In a relationship, somebody sets the tone. Somebody does. The emotional temperature, the pace, the standard. And biologically, energetically, and historically, that role falls into the masculine role. It should, right? Not because women are weak, but because women respond to the environment that they are in. A calm, grounded man creates calm. A reactive, uncertain man creates chaos. And a checked out man creates anxiety. That does not make you bad. It makes you influential. Most men didn't cause the behavior that they're upset about, but they did allow the tone that made it possible. Leadership is not control. It is containment. When you do not regulate yourself, she has to regulate the relationship. When you don't set boundaries, emotions run the show and logic is checked out. When you do not lead with clarity, confusion fills that gap, and confusion breeds reactions on both sides. This is not about shaming men, so relax. It is about waking them up to their power. You guys are powerful and you don't even know it. You don't fix relationships by arguing the facts. You fix them by stabilizing the frame. Calm your body, slow your reactions, speak less, and mean what you say. And most importantly, do what you commit to do. When a man shifts internally, the relation shifts externally, not because he demanded it, but because the tone changed. That is leadership. And once you understand that, you stop feeling blamed and you start feeling dangerous in the right way.
All right, just saying that you heard that. So now this woman is saying that the lack of masculine leadership is what actually makes a woman crazy. So I'm asking, are you all quiet or silent at home because you don't care? Or is it because you're afraid of being pretty much canceled in your own house?
Well, you're assuming we're silent and quiet at home. Right? Because that wouldn't be me, But what occurred to me, Nikki, as she was talking, was everything could be flipped from him to her. I mean, I don't feel like the man needs to be in control. I think, I don't know. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I don't see that. Everything she said just felt like it could be both ways. The man has to be the one. What, a woman can be crazy, batshit crazy, and the man just has to be calm and settle her down because he has to set the tone. I don't get it. It just wasn't resonating for me because I think it goes both ways.
So you saying that either one could be erratic, but you also expect your woman to be the calm and set the tone of the relationship. Like you think it should be equal.
I just do. You know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, there's an old saying that relationships or marriage is 50-50, but I like the one that follows that and says it's 100% and 100%. You know, I don't get it that the man has to set the tone. I mean, yeah, he should, but she should too. You know, he shouldn't be responsible for how his woman's acting. You should be responsible for your own self.
All right. Connie,
Man,
spaces.
Tim took it in there. Cause I agree with him 100%. I couldn't have said it better.
You're teaching me well, Scony.
Oh man.
I think the flaw in go ahead.
No, I want you to go. Go ahead, spaces. I'm trying to Jamel trying to get in the back, but he's saying he in here, but I don't see him. So go ahead.
I think the flaw in what you guys agree with is in the fact that women want their man to take leadership in almost all things that they have to deal with in life. The only thing women want to really give time and attention to is things that's going to be pleasurable for specifically her, but she's going to benefit from his time, effort, his money, and drag him along with what it is that she's planning for. Specifically vacations, specifically times of when it comes time to spend money and have fun. All other facets of life she wants him to lead in. She don't want to think about bills. She don't want to think about a car note. She don't want to think about how all different kinds of things. And the only time she wants to give her thoughts and her efforts into something is when it's time to plan a vacation or decorating the house. So no, I disagree. The absolute majority of women, and you can hear it out of their own mouths, the absolute majority of women want men that's going to lead their lives.
I'm biting my tongue.
Miss Nikki.
Did you when you was trying to get in, did you hear the video, Jamel?
No, but I'm okay. Just send it to me and I'll catch up while people talking.
Well, I
know what Jamel's gonna. He's like on Space's side on that one. I think that's his view too.
I don't know. He might not be.
I don't know either, but
I think y'all missed a lot of details that you and Scony don't agree with her.
Well, so
she just sounded like she was rambling to me, just rattling off some stuff that I mean, I'm like Tim. I can't relate. Like my woman.
Nikki, do you agree with Spaces that most women, like the vast majority, want a man that's going to lead them around and they want to be subservient to their man?
Well, I don't think that's what she said. I think that's what y'all took out of it.
Okay, it is what I heard. Maybe she didn't say it, but it's what I heard.
Okay, since Jamel didn't hear it, I want to replay it because we might need
how
to
long
break.
is it?
It's not that long.
15 minutes.
It don't matter. You just got her.
It felt like it was 15 minutes.
He said it felt like. That's long.
Hey, Jamel,
I'd like to hear it again. I'd like to hear it again. Maybe I'm
no, I don't know about that.
Me too.
We gonna play.
All
it
right,
again.
cool. Let's go.
That's hilarious, man. Hilarious.
Anytime Spaces in the feel a certain type of way early in the show, it must be something. Because he don't really he don't go in. He be thinking of a way not to go in. But this one, no, she ain't on. I was like, damn.
All right, so let's listen. We finna re-listen.
They assume it means blame, but it doesn't. When men hear take responsibility, they assume it means blame, but it doesn't. Responsibility is not a fault. It's your authority. In a relationship, somebody sets the tone. Somebody does. The emotional temperature.
So I'm going to stop it right there. She said it's not a fault. It's an authority.
Right.
So
She
you don't.
also said when men hear responsibility, they hear blame. Don't relate. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
She said, "Well, Ted, she said take responsibility."
Again, my wife has never told me to take responsibility since we got together, because I take responsibility. So again, and if she was to, for some reason, have to remind me to do so, I wouldn't hear blame. Again, I don't know what she talking about,
Okay.
but I digress.
The pace, the standard, and biologically, energetically, and historically, that role falls into the masculine role. It should, right? Not because women are weak, but because women respond to the environment that they are in. A calm, grounded man creates calm. A reactive, uncertain man creates chaos. And a checked out man creates anxiety.
Nikki,
That
pause
does not
it then,
make you
please.
bad. It makes
So I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I agree
And
with
couldn't
that
you say
too.
the same thing about a woman though? I mean, it's like
But
if she backed it up, she's saying an out of control man creates, chaos. Well, so does a out of control woman. I mean,
right,
Women are
but we're
chaotic by
saying if
nature.
we're talking about leadership, see, I think Tim, when you think or leadership, or when you hear leadership, you hear dominance, and that's not what it is. Leadership
Tim
is just
said that.
leadership. If we talking about, especially with guys wanting, entire submissive woman, you have to be able to do that. So if we all know that women are emotional and chaotic or whatever,
So
then why would it not be the leader's responsibility to do dynamic control? And there's all kind of ways to do that. We're not saying slap her upside her head. I'm just saying if you a leader, you know how to do that effectively.
agreed, agreed. But what's the yin to that? What's the yin to that yang? So if a guy is a leader, being calm and calm should the according to her that should create calm. But what about the, like Tim saying, the crazy follower that's not following a lead and not responding to the calm that creates her B example. I think that's what Tim trying to say.
well, I am, and Nikki, what I'm hearing her say is the man's responsible for how the woman is in a relationship, and I don't buy that. The woman's responsible for how they are. Maybe the man does need to take leadership. And I do agree with you. When I hear leadership, I hear dominance, and maybe that's not right. I'll back off of that. But I do think that it's crazy to expect a man to be responsible for how a woman is in a relationship. Like
And
if he's not setting the right tone, then it's his fault. She's a batshit crazy woman. That's just not right.
no, I do think that just naturally men set the tone. I mean, anybody could, depending on how aggressive you are on your role. But I think men genuinely set the tone, especially if you taking care of business. And if you that guy, I think some women grow not even a disrespect, but they start getting a lack of respect for men who don't take leadership in
Sorry,
certain
somebody's got
areas
some
of
shit
life, a
going.
certain dominance. And I don't mean, because a lot of men also think just like you think some men don't know what leadership is. They think it's dominance, yelling, aggressiveness, but that's not it. So yeah, hold on.
I only what Jamel got. If
I'm gonna
oh
finish
wait, because we got more. We got more.
Yeah,
We got
Jamel
more
didn't
video
hear
on
it, so
stream.
I'm gonna let him hear.
Yeah.
makes you influential. Most men didn't cause the behavior that they're upset about, but they did allow the tone that made it possible. Leadership is not control, it is containment. When you do not regulate yourself, she has to regulate the relationship. When you don't set boundaries, emotions run the show and logic is checked out. When you do not lead with clarity, confusion fills that gap, and confusion breeds reactions on both sides. This is not about shaming men, so relax. It is about waking them up to their power. You guys are powerful and you don't even know it. You don't fix relationships by arguing the facts. You fix them by stabilizing the frame. Calm your body, slow your reactions, speak less, and mean what you say. And most importantly, do what you commit to do. When a man shifts internally, the relation shifts externally, not because he demanded it, but because the tone changed. That is leadership. And once you understand that, you stop feeling blamed and you start feeling dangerous in the right way. When men...
All right. So that's what she said fully.
Y'all gonna be mad at me.
I'm already mad at you.
All right. So now this is because I grew up with this, and I learned it. I learned it later. The end part of what she said, I totally agree with. Like a lot of times, as a man, I'm just very nonchalant. If I say something, I'm saying it just like this. I want to do this. I ain't really, that's it. That's all I got. Now, if you're not listening to what I say, I probably just ain't gonna talk to you no more. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna feel like you're not listening. And I have had times where I was silenced about things I didn't like, which just like if you grew up in the black church, we always say silence gives consent. You know what I mean? So I see where she's coming from on certain standpoints. Now, the beginning, I feel like, I think everybody, all the other men, I don't feel like if somebody say, hold yourself accountable, I don't feel a type of way. If I need to step up or something like that, I just need to step up. You know what I mean? But any men that deal with women, we 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be certain times they don't listen. You know what I mean? Like I remember dating, and I had just gotten the house, right? Ice outside, road slippery. I said, hey, when I got in the house, I said, hey, don't go outside, it's bad. Same person I said this to, they ain't give a fuck what I was talking about. They went outside, got in a car accident. And was like, hey, can you help me with this situation? I ain't want to help. Because my part was to tell you, stay safe. Don't go outside. It's bad. They looked like he ain't talking about nothing. And did what they was going to do. I can't control you. But when you get out the arms of safetyness, I mean, once you get out of the safety of the arms, what can I do? How can I save you? That's it.
I don't know if anyone else's mind went in this direction, but when Jamel said ice outside, I was like, hide the immigrants! Hide the immigrants!
Oh, that's wild. But that's your reality right now. So I can't say nothing about that. That's wild.
Definitely crossed my mind, Spaces.
No,
I
like
wasn't
ice
sure where he
outside.
was
What? Ice outside. What?
Oh
Right.
man, but back to the topic, because here's how it resides for me. And again, I'm so different from your backgrounds, and it just seems very disrespectful of a woman for the man to have all that leadership. I don't want to say control, but it's come up in other things that Nikki's played. It's kind of like, it just seems to me like you guys don't respect the fact that a woman has a real power of her own too. You know,
But I hear
that's
those.
just how it lands on me. I'm telling you.
So here's the thing, Tim. It would be different if I didn't hear conversations like that from my own mother on the daily. This is what she says. And fellas, I really talking to my mom opens my eyes to a lot. Me and my mom are only 14 years apart. I'm an only child. But she's always been, she ain't old enough. She's not so much older than me where she out the loop. But this is what she said, and I really want all the fellas to hear it, especially Scony and Spaces. She said, when a woman meets a man, he's like her superhero. She think it's nothing that he can't do.
Facts.
And it shed a different kind of light because she also said what women problem is they don't share that expectation with the man, but they think that expectation. They dream that expectation of him. So when you talk about the leadership, she don't bring up what he buys or what he purchases, but she talks about one of the things with a successful man is his planning. Like I've been listening to Scony since we've been on the podcast, and I feel like one of the things that he does well is he plans. You can even hear him when he talk about a story when he was like, okay, he's 4 now, but when he's 6, he mine. That's a plan that he put in action by his words. And I think more of us have to follow that plan. And she also talks about, and she'll be at the things on the 22nd. She also talks about when we not falling through and when we keep failing, how that same superhero, now he's scrubby buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had so much hope for you. Now you ain't shit to me. But that's how hard they think about us.
Well, back to
Mommy
what
Jamel is spitting.
Well, hold on, because I want to address Tim. Because Tim, I think you say that a lot. Like, we don't think women have any type of power, anything. Of course, women are great. We got power. You all have power. The problem is there are 2 different type of powers. Like, the woman's role and her power is a totally different realm of what the man's power and leadership will be. My power might be literally just being his strength, just being his calm, making sure the house good, little things. Men don't really ask for much. That's what I'm learned. But these things that they're asking for, we're not even doing. So yeah, we do have power, but the problem with society right now is they're trying to make both of our powers the same and equal. They're equal, but they're different value.
I'll give you that, Nikki. But
You hear
I'm
what I
glad to hear
mean?
you say. I do know what you mean, but I'm glad to hear you say they're equal.
Well, they've
they're
been
different.
equal, but y'all trying, but not y'all, you per se, but society is trying to, when I say equal, they're trying to make it like women should and can do anything that a man is doing. And then there you guys, but now you got men who want the authority of a 1950s husband or just a regular traditional leadership role. But you want also the emotional workload of a roommate. And I don't think those things you can have them both ways because you do have men that expect all of that, but plus the woman to be the housewife too, even though she really not a housewife because she working. You get what I'm saying? I don't think you can have it both ways. So here's my thing. In every other area of life, business, sports, war, the leader is responsible for the morale of the team. Even at work, you're responsible for the morale, employee morale. You hear that all the time. So if the team is chaotic, do we blame the coach or not?
Absolutely, but at the same time, how can you blame the coach if the team ain't listening to the coach?
I ain't never seen a team that don't listen to the coach. If you got a good coach.
So the way that happens is you get a player like Jordan, even though Jordan listened to Phil Jackson, so this is not the best example, but a player of a Jordan, like Jordan LeBron, a real superstar that superstar can take over can take that team from that coach and start making his or her own decisions on the court. That's the not listening to the coach that I'm talking about. So when they
John
lose the
Morant.
game, who you say?
John Morant.
Memphis.
There we go. That's a great example. And then now Ja's he's like that player that wants to blame the team. I'm gonna blame the leadership. But you took the leadership. You were the leadership. But now you want to blame leadership when you don't
how
like
do
what's
you
going
how
on.
does somebody take lead? See, I guess that's where I'm getting confused. How do a man, either she was already dominant and masculine and like that? If
No,
she
it's
wasn't, then how did you
back to
let her
her
grow to
example
that? Or how did that happen?
by saying I'm gonna stay out of the way. I make decisions and you do something different. So why continue to make decisions? You got it. You got it.
So what if it's been like a person or people don't trust the decision because of anecdotal experience, not just not trusting just because?
I mean, that's exactly what I'm describing. The same thing. It's like in Jake Jamel's example when he said don't go outside and you went outside. Now you got the situation. See, what I would have told that person, Jamel, is here's the advice I got for you. Find a time machine, get in it, go back and do what the fuck I told you the first time. That's how we fix it. Cause I don't fix problems that I could have avoided. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not gonna do it. Like you said, you don't want to. I felt you when you said that because I'm not.
See, men, especially most men, all men really, we like peace.
Absolutely.
Peace comes before the storm. Like most of us, for example, we go in a restaurant. I can go somewhere with spaces right now. We gonna sit at the table. I'm pretty sure he looking at the door. He want to see the door. One of us want to see the door, if not both. But even if I'm slipping, no, I'm gonna sit right here though. I'm looking at that door. That's how men move. And it's just real easy. Why? Because if something happened, I'm following his, because he got the door. I gotta listen. If my partner say duck, I never ask my partner for what. I just duck. And the thing about it is,
But what if your partner? So I guess that's the question I'm getting to, because we need to shift over to like real life scenarios, because
okay.
most men ain't on point like that. So if you dealing with somebody and this could be woman or man, and they've shown things in the past that you can't trust or whatever the case may be, if you've seen leadership skills lacking or whatever the case may be, what is that supposed to happen after that? She just supposed to let the house fall?
Nah.
Or take leadership?
See what you
say I should take leadership.
You describing chaos, and it's like,
but that's what most relationships are.
Agreed, but for someone, and then you're talking to somebody like Lee said, that doesn't deal in chaos. So when you trying to, it's okay. You keep your house clean. You the neatest person in the world, right? You never have anything out of place. And somebody want to walk you into a house that's just destroyed and like, Nikki, fix it. Nikki can fix it, but it's a deep breath like, shit, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, how you gonna fix it, Nikki? You gonna take everything out there, motherfucker, and put it back together, right? That sound about right. So when you throwing somebody like myself, huh?
I probably throw most of it out.
Exactly. So when you're talking about men that know how to be in a relationship and lead and all that, and you say, well, all right, well, what would you do in my situation? The same applies. Shit, we gotta tear this shit down and rebuild. That's
how
the
you
only
do
way.
that? Well, let's give a solution. How? And I want to hear from all four y'all. Starting with you, Scony, and then we'll go from the bottom around. Let's give the people a solution. How do you think people, if somebody listening to this, and like we said, most relationships are chaotic, and we all about solution based. So I want to start.
You said that.
I want to start. It is true. I want to
use
start giving people solutions.
I use my personal experience as an example. Like I said, you start over and you build from scratch. I done been in toxic relationships, and I removed myself from said relationship. I'm not looking for a rebound situation. I'm looking to find myself. Okay, it's just like sports. You look at the tape, look at the past experiences. What went wrong? What went right? What could have went better? Once you get all of that down, it's data. You got to be data driven. Once you realize what you won't tolerate, what you willing to tolerate, what you're really looking for in a partner, what they really need to have. And again, we ain't talking about when you're 16. We talking about late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, maybe even early 40s. When you done been through some shit and you can really have data and understanding of what you're not finna deal with, what you really want, and then you start vetting people. And when I say vetting, that don't mean meet somebody, fuck them on the third date, fourth date, and then figure shit out. Cause that's what most people do if they being honest. Most people don't get in relationships. They meet, they hang out, they fuck. And then they try to figure everything out. Like shit, maybe we can move in together, maybe we can have kids, etc. Right? Or just fuck, I'm pregnant. Start doing more things with intention. In other words, take it slow, meet somebody, find out who they are, because it takes a while to find out who somebody is, because again, they gonna show you they representative, right? So in taking that time, all the red flags that you would have found out if you just jumped in the bed with them and then moved in with them, you would find out away from them when they living in their own place and you living in your own place, and you ain't had sex with them, and you don't have these type of ties to them. And again, most women, they ready for what they ready for. So it's just like, I just deal with it. I just deal with it. Men, same difference. But if you truly trying to figure it out, figure it out. All you gotta, like we said, plan it. Plan what you looking for. The person, people say they don't understand the purpose of algebra. I'm finna put it in effect right here, right now. The person you want to meet is X. Now the other variables about you, you know those variables. You just trying to solve for X. That's my solution.
Okay, Jamel.
Basically, I think it's simple. One of the things is you want to establish the hierarchy in the conversation between yourselves. Like I said, some men are gifted with the art of leading, but a lot of us, like myself, I learned how to lead because I had to at an early age. So I do think, like, in a situation where, let's say you speaking with your woman and you giving her instructions, right? And she not following those instructions because she goes, I don't trust what you did back here. That's not how you do it. You follow the instructions. Now, let's say the instructions come out, it didn't work. Then you move to a different way to solve it. And that's how you do with any problem. Because a lot of times in life, it's not just one way to fix this problem. But if every time your husband, your boo say something and you thinking you ain't listening to him, now he ain't listening to you. And you started the chaos. When it's okay to come and say, hey,
Wait a minute, how she start the chaos?
she didn't listen. You see how
What?
you missed it? You still stuck.
No, I'm not stuck. You said because you created the chaos. I'm just asking for a solution.
It's just like if you tell me to go to the store, right? And you say,
Action.
okay, when you text somebody, bring me such and such, such and such from the store, and let's say we forget what you brought. How do your lady feel? You told her to bring back this, and you like, well, I just got you a raspberry soda, but she wanted an orange. I don't drink this. And it's just little things like, dang, why you ain't just listen to what I said? Okay.
That was a bad example, Jamil.
It's just, how do you feel if somebody?
I'm just saying, if we talking about bring me this, but I just saw this and thought you might try it. Like I'm almost about to be on blast. That's just not a good example right now.
I didn't want to say bring me a wine black and mild, but they ain't had no black and mild, so I brought you
a swish, a grape swish,
chocolate milk.
I brought you that casino one.
Whatever. Come on, Tim. Let's hear with the man married 50 years. How long you been married, Tim?
Old wisdom. I've been married longer than you guys have been alive. That's for dang sure.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Are you 50?
2 years away.
Yeah. So I've been married longer than you've been alive. Anyway, no. So here's what's up with me in that conversation. It's not taking responsibility. It's being responsible. And Nikki, when you say a leader, what I hear, and like I was saying before, dominance. But if there's a leader, then there's a follower. And I don't think a relationship's built that way. A partnership is a partnership. It's not a leader and a follower. It's two people that are in partnership. And women have certain traits, men have other traits. And so I think it's somehow you join those traits together to have a successful relationship. And different people are different ways, but it's not all on the man to set the tone. In my mind, it's a give and take. And like I was saying earlier, it's 100%. You can't just give part. You got to give all. And sometimes you're wrong and you take responsibility for it. Sometimes she's wrong. You still take responsibility for it. You just, you know what? You just do what you do to make it work. And that's all I got to say about that.
So let me ask this: well, I know you work, but I'm gonna just ask: Do your wife, your daughter work? They work.
I've always been the breadwinner, though. They work, but not really bringing in income to speak of.
Right, but they work. I'm just saying they go and
like they
so don't they have like a like they got like a supervisor, a leader
at work, not at
no,
home.
I'm just saying though.
At work they do.
I understand
not at home,
it. So for you, you don't mind her following, because you use the word follow. If it's a leader, is a follower. You don't mind her following some strange man that don't care nothing about her versus following the man that love and cherish her and gonna make sure she good and protect
her. Well, our marriage isn't her work life. Her work life's one thing. Our marriage is
but
another.
that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying
yeah, you are.
It is. I think it
you're
is.
You're saying at work she needs to follow.
I'm saying that you okay with a woman or your woman or whoever, because you're not the only one think like this, submitting to a random man and going to go get burnt out by him and then come home and not have enough for you.
Man, that's off the rails, Nikki. But
that's how women feel. Well, so I'm just asking.
Maybe. So if a woman goes to work and she has to do what her boss tells her to, and then she comes home and then she has to do what I'm just not following that, Nikki. I don't know. That a marriage and a work life are two different things.
So Tim is like he said, he's been married 50 years.
49. Sorry, Scony. I was exaggerating, but it is 49.
I got you rounding up. But what he said, I mean, in 50 years, I can imagine that they have a system. Things just, everybody done figured out their place. I'm good at this. He's good at that. He takes care of this. I take care of that. Everybody do their job. Everything works in harmony and unison. But what Nikki was speaking of is this stuff going around right now of
Tim ain't used to that. Tim is from Harpo gonna beat me. He ain't really deal with no disrespect.
Oh,
hey,
no,
baby,
no, that ain't fair.
Food already ready. He ain't
no, that ain't. You
ain't
just
dealing with none of these big women that be coming around trying to talk crazy.
You're so making that shit up. You don't know that. I do all the cooking.
Let's
I do all the cooking in our house. I do a
What
lot
you
of
was
the
gonna say,
cleaning up.
Stoney?
Nah, I
Let's
was
But
go.
no,
going.
let me finish one quick thing.
I said you from that generation. I
Hold
didn't say
on,
you
y'all.
did it.
Hold on.
Nah,
Let's go and
I'll
finish his
give up.
thought.
Yeah, finish up, Sconey.
Now, what Nikki was talking about is how what she was really trying to articulate is if a man lets his well not lets but your woman go to work and she does everything her supervisor says with no pushback. She does everything he or she says with no pushback, but then come home and when you ask her to do XYZ, it's pushback.
Okay.
But again, you probably don't
Yeah,
relate to
no,
the pushback. You don't
no,
even relate. That's
I
what I'm
no.
saying.
But what's funny was what was I think you all kind of were thinking it. We've been married a long time. It's still freaking chaos. You know, I mean, we get in stupid fights over who left the toothpaste off. It's like, what the fuck? We've been married 49 years, but still, what comes down at the end of the day is our
You
respect for each other and it's just we have our own roles and we respect that. So I don't have to lead her. She can lead her own self.
So after 49 years, whoever leaving the toothpaste open or out, they not used to that by now?
Y'all ain't figured that out yet.
Oh, well, I might
definitely
do it.
did.
That was literally all I
Yes,
got out of that.
that's
Like
that's
I'm
that's
trying to
Tim's
because
version of toxic.
No,
at,
it's
at the
hey guys,
at
just
the
get ready for
baseline of
this.
it all,
Even after 49 years, you still fuck up. I still do
Like
all the
that one.
time.
That's a good one, Tim.
I still do all the time.
So I think with Tim, I do think because Tim I think people quit too easy too. So ain't nobody making it to 50, 60-year anniversaries the way people be handling relationships right now. Go ahead, Spaces. You've been
I
quiet
think
tonight.
at
That's
the end
duffel
of y'all
bag
can hear me, right?
spaces.
I know you
You see, I
changed
was like
your
my
name to
AirPod out
Duffel
my
Bag.
ear. I
Duffel
can
bag
hear y'all
spaces be
now.
chilling.
At the end of it all, Tim used the word partner, and I think the word partner has been emphasized by women to minimize the role that men play in women's lives. I think the person that's in control of the relationship or the person that leads the relationship is the person that has the most to lose in the relationship. And in the absolute majority, and I would go as far as to say all situations where women are dealing with men, the woman expects the man to be willing to lose his life in service of her, in service and protection of her, regard point blank period. So when it comes to these conversations, it's like it's cool to entertain what a woman is saying for the sake of conversation and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, these women
What?
ain't ish. A lot of them, the absolute majority of them, they align themselves with the worst men, and they have the worst experiences with the worst men that they choose to align themselves with, and then they try to base their relationships in the future off of the men that they chose. As simple as that. No. Don't call me your partner. No offense to Tim, of course, because I got mad love for Tim. Don't call me your partner. I'm your man. I'm your husband. And whether you like it or not, the role of a man has a higher level of significance in a relationship than a woman. Now, that's not to say that she's not a human. She has her level of significance in the relationship. Absolutely. The a woman's words to a man is like fuel to a car. Like it or not, that's what it is. So yes, when it comes to these types of conversations, I forget who said it, but my ears, it's like ears on a scratching on the chalkboard, listening to women like this talk, because you can only oftentimes these conversations are only approached from a subjective perspective and not an objective perspective. So as long as you're approaching these conversations like that, then I'm already you already have me out of the window, because your chances are you're wrong.
I thought you agreed with the lady.
Let me find my AirPod.
Hey, Spaces. Relationships are always subjective. You can't talk about an objective relationship. If you're in it, it's never objective.
Then it's subjective. They're talking about the
That's what I'm saying. It's
objective
always
reality
subjective.
of people.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's so interesting. And I'm not discounting what you say. It's just not my reality. It's not how my lived reality's been. But it's a whole different world I live in. So I appreciate what you said.
If she expects you to put your life on the line for her, then you should be the one that's in control of what happens in the relationship.
What if I expect her to put her life on the line for me as well?
She's gonna leave you.
Tim, now I know you effing lying for put you on big straight for that. Say that.
She's gonna leave you, bro.
No,
because check this out. If a woman, Miss Nikki, you can speak to this, and I wish Miss Amberlin was here as well. Shouts out to Miss Amberlin. If a man gets into a fight and a woman witnesses her man lose a fight, she's looking at him through a different lens. She's looking at him through a lens. She's now looking at him through a lens of, you can't protect me. You lost this fight, and I'm disinterested in you through the lens of protection. We've been together for this long. I'm not going to automatically leave you, but you lost the fight. Can you really protect me?
Hey.
Wait a minute, Spaces. Now I can't say just because I watched my man lose a fight that he can't.
It's not out the
protect
Miss Nikki.
I mean, I'm just saying though, you win some, you lose some. Like, I think with a woman, it ain't about if he win or lose. It's about
standing up and fighting.
If he stood up for him, you get what I mean? So if he lose, I'm just be like, I gotta go patch him up and
especially if he's gonna throw down on Mike Tyson.
So if they get into an argument, because a lot of times a man's shortcomings come up in a conversation when a man and woman get into an argument together. You don't think that they get into an argument, she's gonna bring up the fact that he lost the fight?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
That don't mean she gonna lose to him.
You talking hella loud now, but when old boy was kicking you in your face, you wasn't. You was saying help. You was trying to get me to apologize to him. Say sorry. Say sorry. Hey, skip that, man. If my girl loses a fight, I'm looking at her different too. Talking to the kids like she hard. Man, she ain't gonna do nothing. She ain't do nothing to Miss Peaches down the street.
No, I don't think women don't think like that. It don't have nothing about if you win or lose.
That's cap, Miss Nikki.
I don't. Well, I guess you do have your rah-rah girls, but if you pick a rah-rah girl that's gonna throw the fact that you got knocked out by Debo, then that's the girl you chose. You already knew she was gonna drive you. Me personally, I don't think that I would do that. I wouldn't even bring it up if he lost. Now, if he won, I'll be talking about it all the time. But if he lost, I probably wouldn't even talk about it no more.
So you just got a switch that you're gonna flip if you win or lose.
Well, yeah, because if he win, I'll be like, you remember when you beat that dude and his babies? But if he lose, I'm gonna just be like, I'm so proud of you.
That sounds so pitiful.
You want me to help you upstairs?
Because I am proud of him.
Yes, help me.
I'm proud of you for trying. You lost, but I'm proud of you.
Because I've seen men on these videos and stuff like that run. Or they be like, Now, what I will say this in disclaimer, we do not condone violence or anything on this channel. But when we talking about men, and we talking about, because we done shifted over into this little narrative, but I do want to say, man, if you got a woman that's out of control and always getting you into some, no, do not keep fighting for her. She gonna get you unalive. Don't do that. Because you got some women out here that get men in a lot of the issues that they be into when it come to like violence and jail and losing their life. So,
look at him. What? I ain't never
I'm
really
trying
dealt
to be
with
quiet.
it. No, you can talk. We like it.
It's not easy.
Oh. All right. Well, anything else on this before we move on?
That went a lot longer than I thought it would.
It
For
did
real.
go a lot longer than I thought it was, but it's cool. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Thank everybody that's in the chat with us, that's been hanging in there with us. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you want to stand out, support the channel, send a super chat. Say something to your favorite panelists on here. We got Tim, Spaces, Scony, Mr. Lee. Do not forget February 22nd, if you're in the St. Louis area, we are going to be live in the building with a live audience too. So you better get there. But I want to go ahead and move on to the next topic. Y'all know how we do it. And we will just get right into it. Oh my God, what's wrong with my videos?
Hit that microphone button.
Huh? No, they're like
They're muted, right?
They're not muted though. I don't have them muted. So that's okay. We ain't finna let them stop us.
No,
Who is them?
The people. You know that's Tim's favorite word. Who are they? You always talking about they. You know who they are. Them.
You act like they in his phone.
I'll say this. I like the first girl better than this guy anyway. She's
Y'all got the
easy to
same
look
beard
at.
almost.
Oh, she say
That was your beard.
You
20
say
years
she
ago.
easy to look at.
Yeah.
Well, Scony don't like. Somebody said something about her.
Well, maybe she needed a haircut, but she was cute.
Nah, she got a lot of forehead. She's psychic.
All right.
I am curious what you're going to play with this guy, though.
You are.
He looks like somebody I would agree with.
You are going to agree with him. I think you're going to agree with him. I actually picked this just for you.
Oh, sweet.
All right, this might hurt some feelings, but whatever. I was just scrolling through my feed and I saw a couple of posts about how white people have no culture. And I'm just over this white guilt, white shame type stuff. I'm not advocating for white supremacy. I'm just advocating the end of white silence and the end of white guilt and the end of white shame, because our culture participated in nothing that your culture hadn't participated in previously. We didn't start slavery, but we damn sure ended it. And the only place that slavery still exists are in people of color societies in Africa and the Middle East. The Vikings figured out how to circumnavigate the globe before the Islamic world ever figured out how to get their feet wet. It wasn't us that was going into Africa and pulling the slaves out. It was other Africans grabbing them and enslaving them. We invented democracy. We invented the constitutional republic. The bubonic plague wiped out half of Europe. And what did we do? We got together and discovered Western medicine and inoculations and vaccines. I'm not saying that we're better than you, but we're damn sure not worse. There are 4 major ethnic groups in this planet. There are black people, white people, Asian people, and Hispanic people. And we are the smallest. And we are the only group that you're demanding shut up. And because we're not doing it anymore, you're just going to scream racist louder and louder and louder. And we are done caring. We are not ashamed of who we are. We are not better than you, but we're damn sure no worse. And if we're so freaking terrible, then why? Why does the entire Eastern world flock to countries that we created? Answer me that.
All right. So, Tim, a lot of black people argue that white guilt is often a form of soft bigotry. So at what point does trying to help become a form of harm and ignores what we are actually dealing with as a culture, as black people?
Oh man, I got to be honest. It's a tough question for me, Nikki. But I didn't agree with that guy from any word he said. He's totally full of shit. But this thing about I hear what you said in some earlier podcasts, and it's I've taken it to heart that my lily white trying to help is actually trying to oppress black folks in disguise. And
What?
I don't know.
Nobody said that, Tim.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Oh
And
my
that's what
God. See how y'all heard stuff? That's not what was said. We
Yeah,
didn't say
you're not
that
trying
it
to
was
say
both
that
sides.
Nikki, can I finish?
I'm sorry. You're right.
Well, you're not telling me that in the past and even now you feel like white liberals in our liberal policies are actually we're pretending like we're trying to help black folks, but in honesty, we're trying to keep them suppressed by our policies. You've never said that, or you don't believe that?
No, because you threw an extra
You don't
word in there.
believe that?
Hold on. You threw an extra word in there that I didn't use,
Yeah, okay, help me.
which is pretend. I never said you all were pretending. I said that the white guilt is harmful because you're overcorrecting.
I didn't use the
You
word
say you were
guilt.
pretending. Now I do believe the higher ups that created this mess. No, the people like you down here, like us. No, I think you actually have a heart, but you're doing too much. That's what I said. I didn't say you pretending. I don't think you're pretending to love minorities or the less enfranchised that y'all say are less enfranchised at this point. I don't think you're pretending. I think you genuinely care, but I think that was constructed in your mind. This literally didn't, like, this actually been happening a long time. But so no, don't say I said you pretending. Nobody said pretending.
Maybe I shouldn't use the word pretending, but you put some words in my mouth too that I didn't use. I never used the word guilt. But so I have a feeling in my heart that it's white privilege is a problem in this society. I just believe it's true. And there's facts that bear this
Okay,
out. Can I finish?
No, hold on. Only reason
started
because I
talking,
want to
Nikki.
deal with that statement because that's one of the main statements. I just want to deal with that little piece right there when I say soft bigotry. Soft bigotry is you don't know that you're actually being a little bit, I don't want to use the word racist, but it's kind of, because when you say you got white privilege, what I hear is you think you better than me. And you're
Well, that's
not.
not what I said.
I don't feel like you have no privilege over me. I don't have
But
I
I
don't
do.
even white supremacy. I don't feel nobody superior over me or none of that. That is
Wait,
something that
Nikki.
you
So
feel.
Nikki, let me finish what
Nikki,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
please explain the privilege, Tim.
Yeah. So white privilege isn't meaning that I'm better than you. What it means is if a white man goes and applies for a job and a black man goes and applies for a job with the exact same credentials, the white man will get it 9 out of 10 times. That's white privilege. White privilege is, hey, Nikki, let me finish. White privilege, white privilege is the fact that we built wealth off of our houses and off of real estate, and blacks weren't allowed to do that because we didn't lend them money because they were redlined. Black folks in the 50s couldn't buy houses in the 60s. So the fact that generational wealth has happened with white folks gives us some privilege. That's all I'm saying. Does that mean we're better than you? It means
Can
that we've been privileged over time.
can I offer
And if you
something?
don't think that's the truth, it's just the truth.
I think that you're still saying that you assuming that you got the job because you was white and I was black, and not because I didn't dress right for the interview or I didn't do my due diligence. I might have showed up late. It could be a multitude of things. It don't mean because I'm black and you white, you got the job.
Yeah, it does.
That's what soft bigotry means. Or when you say, I need an
But
ID.
he right about that though.
But Nikki, there's all kinds of studies that show
He right. He
that
right.
it's
He right
true.
about that.
No.
Well, it's
I
just
would say
true.
Okay,
I
so
You
would
I'm
can
say
say
talking
two
no,
things
but
about,
can
it's
be true at
true.
the same
well, we
time.
talking about policies. Like when you got people like with your mindset, they creating policies like lowering educational standards because they think black people too dumb or disenfranchised, or expanding welfare. So that just gives us like a hand of dependency. Y'all think y'all helping, but it's really crippling us. The crime thing, no bail. What is it when they don't let the criminals out and they don't give them bail no more? They don't want bail because they think that's no. They in our neighborhoods. They terrorizing our neighborhood. Those are policies and laws where people with your mindset make.
So Nikki, you went off on a whole different tangent than what we
No,
were
I
talking
didn't.
about.
I'm giving
No, that's
you.
fine. But if you
No,
want to
what
talk
I'm
about
saying,
cash
I was just
bail,
giving you
that's not
examples
cash
of
bail. cash bail.
policies with people with your mindset create that literally is a detriment to the black community.
Well, listen to this real quick. What you don't want is cash bail. That's not black and white. That's rich and poor. Rich people can pay their bail and get out of jail. Poor people can't. But you don't
It
want
don't
that.
matter. They
What?
shouldn't have did what they did.
Get rid of cash bail?
No,
Yeah, yeah, they
no,
should.
people need to have a bail. They don't need to be getting out of jail. They
Well,
be
rich
committing
people,
crimes.
Nikki, rich people can get out of jail. Poor people can't.
Okay,
So
go
you're
ahead.
all for
Sterling.
that. You're all for
Go
rich
ahead.
people
Go
getting
ahead.
out.
I'm all for not being a criminal. And if you go to the criminal justice center, you need to be held accountable because that's the only way you're going to learn your lesson.
But if you got money, you're on a different plane.
Okay,
field than
so
people that
Tim,
don't
I'm
have money.
sorry. The people that you keep trying to let out are coming into our community still terrorizing us.
I'm muting myself.
Me too.
But
Go ahead, Sterling.
Tim got a hell of a point though.
He does. And the thing, like I said, two things can be true in a lot of situations.
Did you just do this? Did you do this?
I was just waving my hand.
Oh, I
Thank
thought
you.
he did.
I was muted. I was just trying
I
to.
thought he did the
thank
black
them.
girl magic thing.
Where did you get that from, Miss Nikki? What the
I
heck?
was just, I just saw it out the corner of my eye.
So the
I was
thing
just
that,
trying to be excited.
the thing about I think sometimes with black women especially, they don't really see racism like black men. They just don't see it. It doesn't happen to them on a daily basis. A lot, I'll say it's happened to me. It's happened to me at work a lot. But I'm so used to it. And I'm strong. Like not only have I know that I know that I haven't been given certain jobs, not only because I was a black male, but also because I was an overweight black male. I didn't look the part that they wanted to, no matter what I brought to the table. I've had jobs where I was the #1 salesman for the company. To prove I was #1, they sent me and my wife at the time to Vegas to party. Picked me up with a limo, stayed in the suite, took care of me. But the same company wouldn't hire me as a manager. They brought a white guy in that came to a black store with a leather long coat and asked the people, why y'all don't like him? Man, what y'all talking about? You got a store that helps black people. All the employees black, but the master white with less sales experience than all the blacks. But a lot of times it's one of those other things. Sometimes when a man explains this to a woman, she might say, well, he was probably better than you at such and such. No, he wasn't. But I mean, we see it. So all I say is I don't worry about the laws because that's my job to stay out of that. You know what I mean? But the being able to be promoted at work, to being able to even have a sounding board at work. Like I ask any black man anytime, we can't get mad at work. I've seen white women get mad at work and just talk about how frustrated they are. I've seen white men do it. I've seen black women do it. And I've seen other races do it. But if a black man get mad at work, they call in security. And he ain't even got to say nothing, but everybody is just uncomfortable now because he had to let people know who his true self is.
Jamel.
Yes, sir.
Story time. I'm offer a different perspective on what you just said, what you just talked about, right?
Okay.
So I had a job with the exact same mindset you have right now, right? And at the time, I was a single father with a daughter, right? And I would go to my supervisor and I would explain to him that I'm this single father, I'm struggling, and I need more money. I need this raise, et cetera, and he just never would do it, right? And when he finally did it, I'm gonna tell you, this is why he did it. I did exactly what you just said. I got on the phone with my mother. I was pissed off. So I'm telling my mama, I'm finna beat this motherfucker ass. I'm finna beat this white motherfucker ass. And I said it loud enough that him and everybody else in the plant could hear because I didn't give a shit no more, right? So he comes over, he says, hey, can we go in my office and talk? Yeah, come on, fuck it. And he sits me down and he says, man, listen, I talked to my superiors. They cleared me to give you a $5 raise effective now. If you could just go back to work peacefully and just do your job.
And not beat my ass.
He didn't say that, but that was the implied, right? So that's what happened, right? From there, he ended up giving me some of his duties to go along with this raise, right? Now I picked up on that because, like you said, I'm a smart guy. I'm an intelligent black man. So I said, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm finna get this motherfucker fired. Uh, Basically, this was a inventory job. I was the only inventory person. So everything that cost more than $5,000, I would say it didn't come, and I would stick it high somewhere in the building. And basically, he was supposed to pick this up on cycle counts, but he didn't because he had me doing his job. Right. Long story long. Uh, the higher ups came in, did an independent audit because they said that we had a thief in the building, which wasn't true. And all of this stuff got found, and we had a meeting because they were like, okay, everything is found, everything is good. And I had to raise my hand and say, I apologize because I'm pretty sure this is all my fault because I'm overworked with inventory and maybe I missed a few things. And they like, well, this should have been picked up on cycle counts. And I said, yeah, I know. That's where I messed up. And they like, why are you doing cycle counts? Well, because Danny had me doing. So clearly they fired him, but on his way out, he asked me again to step into his office and he sat me down and he said, I see what you did. Touche, you got me, right? But he said, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna assume you think I don't like you. You think I hate you or some of that nature, but the truth is, I do like you. But I'm gonna tell you why I never gave you the raises that you asked for. He said, every time you came in my office, you talked about all your personal problems, all the things you had going on in your life. And while I do, sympathize with all that, you never came in and said how valuable you are to the company because that's all that needs to be said. Now, that was a lesson learned for me. Now, from that day forward, every job I've ever had, including the one that I have now, all I do is go to work, do my job to the best of my ability, show my skills, and I've never been held back. Since then, I get promoted without asking. And if I do have to ask, I talk about my merit. And so for all the people that want to speak like victims, I can't help. If that's who you are, that's who you are. That's who I was. So I can relate. But at the same time, I relate to the other side of the fence as well. And the other is greener pastures over here. For those that want to cross that and quit worrying about what you can't do. Because earlier Tim was talking about this white privilege. Well, let me tell you something, Tim. I was raised with black privilege. My grandparents died with almost $500,000 in assets, something that's kind of unheard of in our neighborhoods. And you talking about a CTA, a city bus driver, and a county custodian had that much money and wealth. And another thing, my grandmother always said she wanted to buy the block, but my grandfather didn't want to be a landlord. So I know a different side of black people than average. So when people start making all these victim cries and all that, it's like I see something different. And you can't convince me that I'm a victim. And I know better. And you might have white privilege, Tim, but I got black privilege.
Well,
So
Stoney, thank you for that story and thank you for that comment. And that's all good, well and good. And you cannot deny the fact, because there's all kinds of studies, that black and white people go in for the same job with the same qualifications. The white person gets it. I mean, it's
I,
just a fact of life.
I
And I
can't
appreciate
deny that,
you.
Did
I
the
Tim. I won't
study?
appreciate
deny
your
Did
that.
the
love.
civil rights? Did the civil rights organization do that study?
So you
Because
just
you
don't
can't
believe it,
believe
Nikki?
them if we talking about a civil rights
That's
organization.
fine. You don't have to believe facts.
No,
It's
I'm
fine.
asking like if we talking about a study because I didn't called out facts and studies before too, and you totally disregard it. I didn't showed you live
There's
video
all kinds
proof.
of them, and if I have to follow it up, I'll follow it up. But
Well, no, I'm just
it's a fact
saying.
of life. It's
No,
a
there
true.
are studies out there, but my thing is, if you got like civil rights organization doing these studies, or you got a small sample size of, because I ain't never been asked or polled or nothing, and I'm talking about in politics, education, or nothing we ever talking about. So who are they doing these studies on? And a lot of times it'd be a small sample of it. I'm not negating what you're saying, but I still think it's all perspective. It could be a lot of different reasons why somebody don't get a job or move up. I'm
No,
just saying, as
it's what
far
he
as
it's
white
what he
privilege.
said. It's privilege, but it's not privilege in the name. It's as simple as this. Cause I done had jobs where I got hired, and the pay rate I got hired with zero experience. A white kid got hired with the same experience as me, none, at a high pay rate. But I was able to again take that to my superiors and say, hey, what's the reasoning for this? Now I gave them a reason, but it wasn't racism. Because I think you lose with that argument, because here's the thing. If Tim did something that we could consider racist, right? Like, for instance, a black kid applied for a job and Tim's nephew applied for a job, and there was only one job, there's only one position available. Tim is inclined to possibly get that to his nephew. Now, if I say he did it because he's racist, Tim will call me a liar, and rightfully so in his own heart. But that would be the view from me as a black man. That's racist. But a better reason and more truthful, honestly, would be, man, Tim, you showed this other person favoritism. Now that's a fact
All
that
right.
he
Well,
can't deny.
Scony, I want to go back to your story because I so much appreciate it, and I want to say you can't brush everybody with a broad. Like we talk in these grand terms.
I
Like
agree.
and it's not all that. It's all individuals. But if you guys don't think white privilege is a real thing, I'm sorry.
It's not
I
that I
just
don't
do.
think it's a
I
real
just
thing.
do.
I know
It's
it's
I
not.
mean, I think if you feel like you more privileged than me, then you feel like that. But I don't feel like that. I've
It's
never
not. It's nepotism.
so
like
thank you.
right. That's
And
the
with that,
main
even
thing.
nepotism,
Nepotism. It ain't black,
knowing
white.
that it exists, how does that benefit me just by knowing it exists? Okay, Tim, I agree with you. And I actually do. I agree with you. Nepotism and white privilege, if you want to call it that, exists, right? Now what?
Well, here's the thing. In spaces, I hear what you said. Nepotism, that's fine, and maybe that's more accurately said. And what's important for me is that white folks acknowledge that. Because if you don't acknowledge that, then it just perpetuates itself. If we acknowledge it and we can act in a way that disenfranchises it, I just think it makes for a better world.
But
That
everybody practices nepotism, Tim.
Maybe it does, Tim, and maybe it doesn't, because in reality, once again, so you're one of the white guys you recognize. You're a white guy that recognizes it, right? So now here's the next move. Back to my scenario. One job opening, my nephew wants it, your nephew wants it. According to your new logic, you have to give it to my nephew. Now, my nephew's a fucking terrible employee. And you got to
no,
live with that. And you got to
no.
live with your sister who's pissed because you didn't hire your nephew.
That was never my logic. If
Huh?
if they're equally qualified, and it's my nephew, I'm giving him the job 100% of the time.
Right.
But
That's
I
So, but that's
nepotism.
not a
Yeah,
white or black
that's
thing.
what I'm
Everybody
talking
does
about
it.
with this conversation, man.
Right.
I'm looking
Yeah.
up the definition of nepotism right now. It says the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why is the whole idea about
How I got
one
most
of
of
my
my
favorite
job.
comedians? One of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr, has a comedy segment or
A
whatever,
bit.
whatever the
A
terminology is.
bit.
It's white. Thank you. White comedy bit called White Guilt. You look it up on YouTube. You can just Bill Burr White Guilt, and he talks about the movie Pride, which I watched, and I was a little moved by because it's like in any situation, separating or treating people based upon their skin color, which they can't control, is wrong. Period. The issue is black people do it too.
as much
Black
as they
people do it
can,
too.
as much as we can.
So I'm saying, like, I hear black people, and I'm not negating the idea that white supremacy exists, because white people were in a position of power and they're passing that position of power and or influence down. It's hereditary. They're passing down to their kids, passing down to their siblings, passing down to their family members, whatever the case. It's 2026. It's nepotism now. And in any situation right now, if I look at Miss Nikki, I look at Jamel, I look at Scone, I look at Tim. Y'all are people that I rock with so far. Y'all haven't shown any character flaws to where I would be like, you know what? I can't rock with Scone as a. I'm just using Scone because I know I can use.
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
I can't rock with Scone as a person because of these things that he has exhibited. It's a familiarity thing. Watch the Bill Burr skit. It's a Bill Burr white kid. You can. I don't know if that's the title of the bit, but you'll find it because I was looking up while you guys were talking. While you guys were talking, I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of every single situation a black person can't get into a particular position. The first thing they do is say it's white supremacy. That's the first thing they do, i.e. Jasmine Crockpot. The first thing you do, the first thing a lot of people do is they try to, I can't get into this position because I'm black. I don't want to hear that. Let's look at the specifics of the situation. Let's look at compare the qualities and the comparisons of each other. And it's not even necessarily, more than anything, it's not your accomplishments, it's whether you're a cultural fit to what's going on. It's whether people like you or not.
Right.
Because just like people can say that I don't have this opportunity because I'm black, you will find another organization, another movement that's predominantly white that has black people in it, and vice versa. Predominantly black and has white people in it, i.e. Rachel Dolezal as the head of BLM. Oh, I'm sorry, NAACP. A white woman posing as black as pertains to her parents, saying she was completely white, but she was the head of the NAACP. I'm tired of this. This is listen. I was actually having a conversation with my homie today. I would happen to watch A Different World. I would have to watch Fresh Prince, Martin, Good Times.
What in the heck are you doing?
These same conversations have been happening for hundreds of years.
That's some old shit. That's some old shit.
You can't tell me that the same things that were happening in the 1800s or the 1900s with black people is still happening with black people in 2026. Stop it.
I think one of the real quick and just ask a question. I'm sorry, Jamel.
Go ahead.
But can I ask a question of all you guys? Because I'm the odd man out here, obviously. But why do you think the wealth disparity is what it is? Why are white folks so much more wealthy than black folks?
I can answer
that.
I
Yeah,
can
please.
tell you.
Any of you.
So life decisions.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Nikki thinks that's. You think black
because it's a lot of black people that's rich too. And
it's
a lot of black millionaires.
Bad decisions. That's fine. All right.
Yeah, it's a lot of black millionaires. Now, some people can't help what they grown into. And I did want to, before we jump, because it's finna turn into a new topic. I want to say my point. Like Jamel, like what Jamel said earlier.
I'm gonna prove Nikki's point for
now,
her.
I'm not gonna say racism, and I'm saying not just from white people, black people. I know more racist black people than white. I'm saying on an individual level. Yes, it's going to always be around. People going to have their biases, their bigotries, all of that type of stuff. But we talking about far as ain't no laws created, ain't nothing going on right now that's holding black people back. Black people, if it was really a thing where it was just because they was black, they didn't get hired, they'll be suing left and right and win, but you cannot prove that. You can't get in your head. That is your perception, which could be true, might not be true. So it's not necessarily because you black. Like black people do that all the time. It's just not everything is because you black, but you gonna have bigotry, racism, all that on both sides. Black people racist, white people racist. Right now, the black people are allowed to be more openly racist for some reason. I don't know why. I don't like it either way. But you know, the white libs, they accept it, they love it, you know, they feel like they doing a good thing. And then meanwhile, they making all of these damn bad
Nikki, I
policies
asked a
for
real
the black
simple question
community.
to all four of you, and I got your answer. You think
Well,
that,
let Jamel, hold on,
you
Tim.
think,
Hold
yeah,
on,
but
put
you
a
think
pin on
that
that.
the
Hold on,
disparity is
Tim.
because black folks.
Tim, put a pin in it. Let Jamel was finna say something before I interjected. I want him to finish, and then you go after Jamel.
Either way, okay. So in a lot of our major cities, like St. Louis, like Chicago, like New York, the movements was done through redlining. When I put certain people, only certain people in these neighborhoods, and then and what happens is when you redline the people, meaning in St. Louis right now, if you looking for a house, they're gonna try to put you in North County. That's just what most people do. And that's what happens. And I'm talking about to purchase. They ain't gonna take you to Kirkwood. They ain't gonna take you to Webster Groves.
That's based on your income.
They gonna base it on your income, or they gonna base it on how you look. Because the houses in North County, they cost about the same as the houses.
But Jamel, a lot of times they don't know how you look when you filling out. That's a computer. All that stuff is ran by computers. You filling that stuff out, they don't even know how you look no more.
You fill out the application to tell you, is you black or not?
You don't have to put that.
You don't
That's
have to
optional.
answer that.
That's not a question you have to answer. But
my name's Jamel Lee. Do y'all know I get checked by security every time I go to the airport?
You know why, Jamel?
Because he be wearing baggy jogging pants, looking like he got an AR.
No,
let me ask you this: do you have clear?
Because my name's Jamel.
No, do you have clear?
It's the airport, bro. Everybody get checked.
No, I ain't gonna even lie. When me and Jamel knew each other back in the day, we used to go out of town together. He used to get pulled out of line an awful lot, but I always equated to he wore baggy clothes all the time to the airport. When he didn't, they did not do that.
And if a white person with baggy clothes walked through the airport,
well, I ain't seen that, so I can't answer that. But I have seen
Jamel
I got
your
out of line a gazillion times at the
and that's what I'm saying. With the if we're talking about, it's a contrast between the conversation of skin color versus what the person is wearing. The conversation as what maybe I missed it, but with that conversation, Miss Nikki, it wasn't necessarily that he was black. It was Miss Nikki just said it.
No, I said it, but
That's
I
his
was
point.
saying
He
I
said-
think
she said
that's
he
why
didn't say
he
I
was.
didn't say that.
No, I said that's why I think he was getting pulled out of line.
That don't even make sense.
And that's what?
It
Are
do
you
make
serious?
sense. You can have anything on you.
Who don't wear sweatpants and a hoodie in the
There's a lot of people, but
Well,
you
some
can have
people don't,
tees
but
on
they
you.
don't wear 2 sizes too big necessarily.
But Miss Nikki, you cut me off. I want to give it back to Sconey because
Yeah,
he
go
wanted
ahead.
to agree with you.
Tim,
Sconey
are you
wanted
finished,
to agree
Jamel?
with you.
You finished, Jamel?
Yeah, Jamel, you finished?
Basically, I was just bringing up the redlining principles. Like, for example, in my city, they don't invest in the redlining areas. That's what we're going through now. They call it hyper segregation. Chicago going through it, Baltimore going through it, Detroit and New York.
The Del Mar divide.
Yeah, but who y'all voting these people in?
It's not even about. I would say I don't want to say it's
like
not
y'all
about,
voting the same people in, but complaining about what they're doing. You talking about Chicago, St. Louis? We still talking about democratic cities. All them cities like that.
Correct. They are democratic cities.
But people keep voting for it. But they keep complaining about it.
But I don't.
Not you. I'm saying in general, we're talking about as a whole. So I'm still confused. Go ahead. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
doing a lot down here, and I'm actually working on that. Y'all gonna want to
the
get in
red
that
line is the
conversation.
redlining is a lot. And when you come to St. Louis, in a lot of areas, you see it, except for where I live, where Nikki live, and places like that. Like for
Well,
example, we got a metro train. We got a beautiful city called St. Charles. They said they didn't want to extend the metro train because they ain't want niggas catching the metro link
I won't want you niggas
out
out
to
there
St.
either.
Charles,
What
robbing
are
their
you
house
talking about?
and coming.
Why would they give these YNs and these hoodlums easy access out there to them beautiful communities?
Ain't none of my sons YNs.
We ain't talking about your
Please.
sons.
You
We're
know,
talking about as
Right.
a
You are
whole.
talking
You
about
keep
my
talking
son.
personal. We're talking about as
yeah.
a
See, and
whole.
that's another big problem in the black
But when you go to
community.
New York, the train run
Can me
everywhere.
And they
please
shit, it's a shit show.
The
real
trains
quick,
People
real
get
already
quick, real
ran.
quick.
robbed,
So
beat,
this
burnt up on the trains,
you conflating two
stabbed on the
different
trains,
situations.
all kind of stuff.
In,
Real
in
quick,
in New
please.
York and Chicago, the trains already went to every part of it, and then they rebuilt parts of it to be beautiful, and so the train already ran there. What you talking about? Putting trains to somewhere that's already beautiful, and like she's saying, the communities. And then also you saying black people love to say we. Even when you talk about negative shit like the YNs, it's like, well, my kids ain't YNs. I would have never assumed that your kids were, but for some reason when YNs were brought up, you put your kids into it. You know what I'm saying? Like you inserted them, and for
And
your own
Scony,
reason, not
Scony,
necessarily a bad way.
Scony, I
Go
so
ahead,
much
Tim.
want to get back to my question to you, which Nikki answered, and then you were going to, but she cut me off like 3 times. What do you think the wealth disparity is about?
I
Because
got
you
you.
were
So
agreeing
when,
with her.
because she said decisions, right? One word, decisions, right? And what I was gonna say is to prove her correct is what I've been doing lately is when I meet somebody and I'm gonna use Spaces and Jamel right now. Spaces and Jamel. If you could go 10 years backwards in your life, were you doing something that potentially could have put you in a wealthier position today had you made different decisions? And on top of that, was it anything that white supremacy could stop you from doing?
Go ahead, Jamel.
I don't know about stop. Um, I don't know about stop.
We'll start with the first. It's a two-part question, so start with the first part. If you could go back 10 years, and I ain't talking about go back in time like Back to the Future and get yourself a lottery ticket number, right? I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about something you that like was comedy, for instance. Like I'm talking about something you can go back in your own personal history and say, man, that was a missed opportunity, and I made a right when I should have made a left, so to speak. If you
I
got
could have kept.
anything,
I was going hard with my comedy, and I could have kept it going. Through COVID, I pretty much stopped for the most part through COVID, and then it put me in a position where I started back now. But
and and if you had done that, right, you think you'd have probably been more successful, right?
I think so as far as comedy goes.
Okay, and with that being said, you think had you done that, you think there was some white supremacist situation that would have been, hey, we not gonna let Jamal do that. Nah, that little nigga can't do that. Nah, we not gonna let him be the next big comedian. You think that would have happened? You think that there's powers that and sit in rooms and contemplate on Jamel and people like you?
No, but I do know. Um, it's a okay on the comedy standpoint. It's all about who you know
Oh,
in little ways.
I
But
dibble and dabble in comedy, so I know what you're talking about.
you can create your own. Like I had created my own. I created my own lane, and I stayed like that. It was just
What
hard to
about
keep
you,
it
Space?
going.
I think about this all the time. Literally on an almost daily basis. If I'm thinking 10 years ago, essentially, what you're asking is okay, I'll say this. I'll just answer it in a way that I think you were asking.
I said 10 years because I don't know how old you are. I know you're not as old as me, so I'm trying to make
Yeah,
it to where I ain't talking about you was in high school.
right. Yeah. I think I'm thinking back to COVID, bro. That's 4 years. Okay, it happened in 2020. So 6 years ago, ended in 2022. 4 years ago. I bought 10 shares of god dang, Marcus Cinema, one of the theater stocks. At the time, it was $2 per share. After everything cleared and everybody's going back outside, it jumped up to $68 per share. So yes.
So see, Tim,
That's
this is
not
my
something
point.
that's available only to white people.
This is my point, Tim. So if you poll 100 black men, like these two black men and myself, and I ask that same question, you're gonna get a universal response of hell yeah, I missed a lot of opportunities. So that goes back to what Nikki's saying. Black youth, black men have missed a lot of opportunities because we have a lot of distractions, and the distractions are brought on by our own, from music to and you name it, right? If we just gonna be honest with ourselves and just say fuck it, I missed some opportunity, because that's what I'm doing. I've done. I chalked it up, man. I done fucked up. I missed a bunch of opportunities. The whole time y'all was sitting at the house in COVID, and a whole bunch of people got their uh social media cracking and the YouTube's cracking. Man, I was still working. I never missed a day of work during COVID, not one, until I caught COVID, and that was at the end. So that's my missed opportunity, because I wished I would have got laid off and been sitting in the house, because I would have started creating content, but I didn't. But I ain't gonna cry about it. I ain't gonna cry about the white man fault, because whatever. Just get up. That's why I'm on this show consistently. I'm gonna show up for Miss Nikki as I would show up for myself. So this is my practice, if you will. I'm gonna show up for this show every week. Only way I'm missing if y'all miss.
Now, this funny though, because here's the thing. I'm not saying me personally, just because I see something, that mean I have to go another way, or I have to pray another way. But some people know. Like, for example, I used to go to jail all the time because I never had my papers right on my car. I never called that racism. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I was wrong, right?
Yes,
Even
sir.
if I got pulled over a lot, I ain't even worried about it. Because guess what? That was my bad. You know what I mean? But when the school district in St. Louis City don't get the same money than the school districts in other areas around, when you got kids that got 50 kids in one class, but it's a school across town that won't let your kid in, and they only got 25 kids in the class or 20 kids in the class, that's a difference.
It is.
That's a big difference.
But
It
that's
is.
taxes. That don't have nothing to do with.
No, that's
That's got something to do
redlining
with
districts.
poverty. That's poverty.
Why you
So
think they redline the poverty,
Nikki.
the lining like that? This
So
something.
Nikki,
All I'm
that's right.
saying
That's
is,
poverty.
if you in a situation like that, which there are situations, you in neighborhoods, you in these places with low tax rates, no home ownership, so nothing going to the schools getting shut down. At
Right.
that point, it's time to stop being so loyal to the hood. And I'm just talking to the community in general, not per se you. I'm saying in general, it's time to start trying to figure out something different, leveled up. I didn't even graduate, and this is going to be the first time I broke this out. I ain't graduate from high school.
Let me give you
I went to get my GED once I figured out I needed something different. It's literally that simple. When I got my GED, then a light bulb. I went to college because I wanted something different. But I also, prayer without works is so dead. So yeah, it's a hard, you got to work your way towards it. But yeah, I feel like you just got to move around away from people. For me, like I say, it's all going back to this local stuff. These people we got running us, the people vote in, even though we might not be voting them in. You surrounded by a bunch of people that agree with this one thing, and you living in a city that's been Democratic for I don't know how many years, ain't nothing changing, nothing happening, and the only people suffering is mostly black, but I'm gonna say poverty because I grew up on the south side, so I seen poor, white and black. But if we talking about the north side and all these places, yes, they did push everybody back to the county. They are doing that. But when I noticed it and I started talking about it, people told me to shut up. They was like, you don't want to go out to the club. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to talk about it. I noticed this stuff years and years ago. Years ago. When me and my ex-husband used to look for places, all was going getting pushed out. Anything we could afford out in the county because they want downtown back. They want to bring revenue back.
Who's that?
But it's not working because they won't handle the crime. So it's all finna lead back. All these issues that we're particularly talking about right now is particularly the city we live in and how the people in this city vote.
So
That's all good and fine,
Jamil,
but let me jump in real quick on
go
that
ahead, Tim.
because the way we fund schools is racist in its core.
No, we had this conversation, Tim. We agreed that if it was a big pot, the city and the county should share that pot. If everybody so-called cared about the schools,
they don't care about the schools.
I'm saying cared about the kids and put them in there, but that's not the reality right now.
Yeah.
So the reality is we need to vote different and get people with that mindset out of.
I don't think you can vote this situation away.
Well, no, because it's across the country.
But you
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can vote the situation away. But I want to paint a picture for Jamil. Like, you gotta understand. Like we was talking earlier about how men will check out of a situation, and I think Jamil, you was agreeing with that. Like men can get frustrated and just check out, right? Well, imagine having your kids in a school and the school's great, and see, it all started with integration. With integration, the racism is why the white people left. They didn't leave because black kids were bad or nothing like that. They left because they didn't want to be around them, right? So, all right, fuck it. We just let y'all have the school. So, a lot of schools in Chicago, like you said, is our school. I mean, our city is segregated. Black neighborhoods are black, white neighborhoods are white.
St. Louis as well.
I would assume so. That's what I would assume. And with that being said, though, so now that the blacks have the school, and then black culture changed. Black culture changed it when segregation started. Black people had character and morals and high values and all this. And then over time, it's just done. You know what we had as a culture? Sexy Red come from y'all city, so
Chief Keef, man, don't do that.
I'm just that's what. Just stop me when I tell a lie. Just stop me when I lie.
Hey,
stop.
Gonorrhea lip gloss.
Go artist for artist.
We can't.
And I got it.
And it's
well,
no
I was gonna
different.
say, because Stoney, y'all the one I believe started all that killing rap.
You're absolutely correct. And when it first started,
right now, I think that came out of Chicago.
When it first started, I was the first one saying that this is not gonna be good for the culture, because those rappers, they weren't good rappers.
Nope.
They just came with some bullshit kill rap, which turns our culture into kill culture. That's why all these little young, the YNs as people call them, is running around with these guns blazing with their face covered, hoodies drawn up with rubber gloves on, looking for to kill people. So again, when we talk about black schools, I mean, forget black and white. Jamel, do you want your kids around that culture?
No.
Because I don't have to call it black culture. It's a subculture of black culture, right? But when black people try to pull it all into one culture and be like, well, we ain't, all of us ain't bad. Okay, if all of us ain't bad, we got to determine us from them. And if you're not ready to say us ain't them, then get your ass over there with them and see how you fare. Because that's what, when you talking about them trains going out there and Nikki saying they don't want YNs out there, they ain't saying they don't want your sons out there. They saying if you want your sons out here who are welcome, Jamel, get in your car and bring them out here and we welcome them. But we're not gonna make an easy path for everybody to come through, because that's what's gonna come through with your kids. And they might not even hurt my kids out here, they might hurt yours. So it's just like, we gotta be honest, man. We just gotta be honest. Like I said, all black people ain't bad. We all know that. Every black person on this panel right here, I believe to be a good person, good people, right? Raising great children, right? But there's some people out here that ain't raising their children whatsoever. They want the school system to raise their children. And I'm gonna tell you something that's going on in Nashville right now. Nashville is thriving through charters. Charter schools, of course, they get money from the government, but the schools are ran by the people that put the schools together, and they most of them predominantly black, and they're better schools than the public schools. Matter of fact, one of my children go to is the number one charter in the state of Tennessee. So we got to put things together. Bottom line. So back to voting people, nah, you ain't gonna vote this shit away. You gonna have to wipe it away. People gotta stand up the same way that white people don't want that bullshit in their neighborhood. Black people gotta not want the shit in our own neighborhoods. Cause I don't live in a bad neighborhood. There's no gunshots around my house. You don't hear sirens, none of that. And I live in an all well, nah, it's a sprinkle of Tim's, but a sprinkle. So it don't have to be that way. It's whatever we decide to make it, but it's gonna take us to do it. But we gotta stop bullshitting and acting like the bullshit is okay and taking up for it. What you got, Jamel?
No, man. I'm gonna say I always agree. You know what I mean? Because like we always say, two things can be right.
Hmm.
But you know
And
what I'm
that's what
saying?
I'm saying. Two things.
So I don't.
Black people are great people,
I
and we
definitely
got
I
some
definitely
bullshit
agree.
people amongst us.
And that's every race. I just
Yes, sir.
I just know. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, in some instances, you just know. Now that I'm older, I don't get as many. I don't get as many. I don't get as many racist views, but I just look at it and say this: my opportunities are different because I am older. Like for
Would
example,
you add wiser as well? Not just older, but wiser as well.
right? So when you're trying to go through the front door and they keep telling you to go to the back, you do find you a niche. I found a niche and it's sales. But with sales, okay, so it's 1,500 sales reps and I'm number one. It shouldn't be nothing holding me back from growing with that company. You feel me?
So
I can
Jamel.
believe you're a good salesman because you sure can
Jamel,
talk
this
some
this what
shit.
I'm finna say to you, and I don't even
I
mean to
want to
cut
hear
you
you.
off. I don't even want to cut. I feel like I have to. See,
No.
sometimes you gotta see the good in things instead of always looking to the bad, right? Cause see, when you saying what you saying, this is what I'm hearing. I got a company. I'm starting a clothing company, right? You know what I need somebody to help me do? Sell. So maybe that's your calling. It ain't there. That's the point. So when people pushing you away from something instead of trying to figure out, man, why they just won't let me in? Because you don't belong there. And it ain't because you're black. It's because you need to take your talents to South Beach, where you can go win some championships of your own and not just be the top salesman of the company, but be the top salesman of the company that makes you rich, not just the
And
company
you
rich.
do have an amazing point. And I would love to switch cities. That's what you're saying, right?
Not even switch cities, just switch teams. You ain't got to switch team. In basketball, they got to switch cities. But when we talk about the internet, you just switch teams. You can stay right there in St. Louis.
All right, Scony, don't start talking about that sexual stuff. That'll get Nikki all wound up.
He said that
Sexual.
what?
Switching teams. I'm joking.
I ain't worried about that.
I know you're not worried about it.
But nah, serious, Jamil. Like man. Listen, I'm all about building stuff up. I don't even worry about racist people, man. I actually worked with a guy that was really, really, really racist. Like he never used the N word, but he just made sure people knew you can never come to my neighborhood. And I told him, man, if you invite me, I'm coming. Oh man, you might not leave. I said, I'm pretty sure I will. Pretty sure I'm almost positive I will. Cause again, I'm from the streets of Chicago, man. I ain't never been, I ain't gotta be a gangster to be a gangster. That ain't how it work. Like people just believe what they believe. You know what I'm saying? And what I knew was these guys, man, they think they racist. You do hate black people, but you don't even know why. And if you get around black people long enough, as me and this guy we worked together, by the time we wasn't working together, when I quit, I just stopped coming. I did no call, no shows for a week. He came looking for me to see if I was okay. But he's so goddamn racist. See what I'm saying? That's my experience with people. I don't racism is a social construct, man, and people believe it. And we all know more we know
But
black people that hate white people, but they don't hate them enough to go get a gun and shoot up a white neighborhood, and vice
Hey,
versa.
Scony, real quick. Miss Nikki, check your text. Go ahead, Scony. Sorry.
No, I'm good.
You said they don't know. They don't hate them enough to go and shoot up their neighborhood.
Yeah, that ain't happened on either side. Outwardly anyway. I don't know what's going on in the black neighborhoods with these unsolved murders. They could be, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
well,
man. Go ahead, Miss Nikki.
no, go ahead, Scony.
Y'all ain't gonna have me talking y'all to death.
So I do. I like to hear in the discussions. Y'all know I want to hear from everybody, and then if spaces want to go last, and then I'll close out. Everybody say their last words. I'll say my last word. We can go from there. I don't want Tim to go away from me. I got y'all late tonight. We went 2 hours.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Man,
I
it's
think
easy.
hour and a
It's
half is
easy
too
when Tim
short.
here. It's always easy when Tim here.
Yeah, Tim.
I
Good
think
people.
he was trying to tell me I was going to fall asleep because I'm too old to stay up this late.
Oh,
Nah,
I
he ain't
might
gonna
have been
fall
using
asleep.
you as a cover up because I'm
He,
tired.
As
he
soon
too
as you get finished,
engaged.
I'm go out and singing. So
Tim be too engaged to fall asleep.
No, that's good though. But anything else on this? Anybody got final words, encouragement for the people, solutions, ideas as a whole on the topic of white guilt or anything like that? Do we think white guilt is harming us or no?
I think when it comes to this particular conversation, the idea of white guilt and white responsibility as it pertains to the black community is overdone, completely overdone. There's nothing in 2026 that white people are actively doing on a mass scale, at the very least, that is prohibiting black people from, and that's the conversation, right? It's like white people, white supremacy. That's the whole idea. White supremacy is they have this position of power, whatever, woulda, 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 that is prohibiting black people from becoming successful. Well, how about you? How about you not major in African American studies?
Don't do that, Spaces.
Please don't do.
Don't do that,
How
Spaces.
about you? How about you major in something that that is prevalent and specific to society as it is now and as it pertains into the future?
That's gonna make you money.
How about you focus on something that isn't like a specific example? I had a friend. He majored in black and white photography in college. As soon as he graduated college, black and white photography had been obsolete or had been going obsolete because we were reaching a digital age. Imagine black and white photography in this age of 2026 where we have Chat GPT and Gemini. It's arrested development as it pertains to the black community in particular. And you need the issue is the older people get, the more they get stuck in their ways, and people are more apt to pass the blame on their failures in life as opposed to take ownership into what it is that they contributed into where it is that they are in life. If you think if you're saying that white people are responsible for where you are in life, let's look at your bank account. Let's look at your transaction receipts. See where your money's going.
What
I
does that
bet
have to
you,
do
at
with
the very
anything,
least,
Spaces?
we can put something together and say you buy a share of Apple.
There you go with that logic shit.
I'm just saying, like, don't try to tell me, don't try to blame your inadequacies on white supremacy when you're making the worst decisions possible for yourself. That's all. I'm done.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish and I'm gonna mute myself. It's amazing to me that you guys don't see what's going on. But I'm gonna tell you this: we have the
Are you
most
telling
race.
black people what we should and shouldn't see, Tim?
That is what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna,
a level of soft bigotry.
that's why I'm going to mute myself when I'm done. But so it's the most racist president, the most racist
Now, what
government
the
that we've
hell the
My
had.
boy.
president
Hey,
got to
time
do
out,
with it?
Nick. You
Why
cannot.
does this
Never mind. I'll
always?
just
I
mute
don't want to
myself.
talk about the president.
Who is that white man on that nag?
not my boy.
Who is that
Nah.
white man on that nag?
Hey, yo, we got to let Tim
But keep
finish. You got to
going,
let
keep
Tim
going.
No,
finish.
let him finish though. I just like why Trump gotta be.
You
That's
never
like
let me finish.
crazy.
That's
That's
right.
just crazy
No,
to me. We're not
I'll
even
tell you what,
talking
Nikki.
about that.
I'll tell you what, dear. I'm done.
This is last
Talk
word.
about Joe Biden.
No, Nikki, let him
No,
get it
if we
now.
gonna make an
Finish, Tim.
example of a
Nikki.
racist president, bring up Joe Biden. Why you keep bringing up Trump?
We got to let him. This final points. We got to let him get his spiel off.
I'm sorry. It's just like crazy to me. I'm muted.
Well, he said he's.
Come on,
Come on,
Tim.
Tim. Let's get it.
All right. So here's the thing. We can talk about Joe Biden. We can talk about how racist Barack Obama was. You can do all that. But every white supremacist group in this country supports Donald Trump. That's the KKK. It's the Proud Boys. What's up with that? If you don't see that he's a racist, if you don't see that our government right now is turning more towards white supremacy, you're just blind. And that's all I got to say about it. I'm going to mute myself. And I'm sorry. It's just crazy that you can't see that.
Oh, and real quick, super quick, Tim. We're in a group chat and on Facebook together. I like living on proof, right? So if you can get a YouTube video, a Facebook video, or something like that showing the backing up what it is you're saying, please send it to the group so I can see. That's all
right. I would be happy to do that.
But I will say this.
I can't believe you don't know that's the truth, Spaces, but I'll do it.
I will put it like this. I vote Republican, but I look at it like when I look at people like Joe Biden was one of the state representatives that let it be known during school segregation that he didn't want his daughter going to school with blacks. You know what I mean? So this was Joe Biden with a young daughter and a young family man. So I look at that. But it's only one president in existence in this country that didn't come from slave master blood, and that's Donald Trump. Every other president, all of them, they families own slaves. Regardless of how you talk about them, why you think everybody, they feel like, why you think they go after him so hard? I ain't never seen white folks go after a white man this hard. And he beat them all, especially in court. I loved it. Came out with a shoe. And it's like this. Growing up, I seen Trump with black people. Your Michael Jacksons, your Mike Tysons. And he gave money to church leaders. But all I'm gonna say is this. Those are politicians. I don't look at politicians like I look at regular people. I also don't see that when I look at a leader, when I look at the leader of a country, I'm probably not going to vibe with his thought processes because he knows so much that I don't have a thought of. He sees things I can't see. You got to have somebody you can trust. But I definitely don't think, put it like this. If they didn't want Donald Trump to win the presidency,
They.
why would he run against her?
I look at it just the opposite.
What you think?
Both he's won 2 out of 3 elections, right? What are the common denominators in the 2 he won?
He went against women?
Absolutely. And they put those women up to it, and I believe both of them were set up. And I think both of them know that more than we do.
Well, I mean, when I look at Kamala, I didn't hear her talk for 4 years. And all of a sudden, 3 months before it's time to vote, she's speaking.
And not very well.
Horrible. And I saw black women had her back.
They
But
did.
let it would have been a black man with his white wife. Never would have worked.
Especially sororities.
Oh man. But like I said, who our president is, all of them except one. Just one. You got to think like this. Everything that ever happened bad, I don't think that it's affecting me. But I do know that, hey, as a young man, it's a little harder. It's a little harder for black men. It is. You coming from I'm lucky enough that I didn't come from a household where Section 8 was the key to success. I'm lucky enough that I was put on believing in God's power early on. But, sometimes we think like, man, what could really happen?
Yeah, Tim. So this is the thing. The one thing, a lot of black families can't pass down wealth, but they damn sure can pass down doubt and disbelief in ability to be successful. And then for those that beat the odds, so to speak, and win with sports or entertainment, become rappers or whatever, they inherit the inability to invest. They quick to say I'm betting on me, but what are you betting on? What is betting on me? And if you just gonna take every dollar you get and ball with it, and I'm probably speaking words you may not understand, Tim, and that's exactly what we talk about. You think that we're oppressed, and some of us understand that the oppression is mental, and it's like a invisible dog gate. That's all it is. We could succeed if like Spaces said, if you just start taking a little money, because I'm pretty sure you got some small investments that you invested over the years, because I know some of my grandparents that's a little older than you did. They just took a little bit of money every time they got it, which is biblical. Just take a little bit of money every time they got some money, just put it aside. And then some of that money they even put in cash deposits, CDs, and little different investments. But most of the youth and a lot of the youth that even make a whole lot of money don't do nothing like that. They make it, they spend it as fast as they make it, and then they don't make it anymore, and they can't live like you and me because they've lived above you and me, and they can't even face the embarrassment of just being like you, Tim, with a nice little house, nice little piece of land, a nice little car that get them from A to B. They don't want that. They can't even live with that. They rather take their life than live like you and me. And then the rest
Tony,
of them
I'm
going back.
sorry. I muted myself and I knew I had my last word, but I want to say one thing about what you just said because
Go ahead.
it rings so true on something I learned a long time ago. And that's how they train fleas in a circus. They can train fleas only to jump a foot. They put them in a jar, and the fleas keep on knocking their head against the top of the jar. They take them out of that jar. They only jump a foot, even though they could jump 10 feet if they wanted to. You train folks that this is all you can do. And even though they got so much potential, they've been trained that that's all they got. And so I appreciate what you said.
And I got you. So I asked you this question. I love your analogy, right? With that analogy, so now the magic question, the $1,000,000 question: is it the flea's fault that the flea won't jump further, or is it the experimental people that knew how to make the flea understand something that's not true?
I'm going to say the latter.
Okay.
That it? That everybody? That was good. I like that. Well, I'm gonna say is based off of the video and the conversation and just the whole, like I said, like you say, Tammy, like the more I go in history, the more I learn, the more I tap into my Malcolm X vibe and spirit and thinking about all the things that he even tried to tell my parents and everything. When we talking about, and I'm not saying, and I'm like I said, I want to separate when I say the white guilt from the higher ups, all these people versus the people that they trying to convince or have convinced to hate themselves. Like people will say black hate, but right now we got a lot of white hate going on. We got a lot of people going at, and you can care or believe it if you're not, going after the white man and all this other stuff. But when we talking about white guilt and how it has destroyed the black community on policies, when we talking about who y'all voting for, and when they say these catchphrases and they trigger y'all on education, is it equitable, because y'all like that word, to lower grading standards for our kids? Or is that just a way for the upper white elites or black elites to feel better while our children fall further behind? That makes them feel good. We got housing and immigration. And I'm trying to tell black people all the time, black people should be the most upset about this illegal immigration because we are the ones it's directly affecting. Don't nobody want to hear that. When you prioritize funding for undocumented housing over the safety of black neighborhoods, that ain't progress. So is that guilt, or you just virtue signaling to another community? And I'm saying the higher ups, because they know they losing black vote. That's a new voter block. Meanwhile, our babies unaliving each other in the streets, but y'all want to defund the police. Meanwhile, you saying we too dumb to get an ID only because you want to make it easier for illegals to be able to vote so you can have that voter block. We too dumb to get an ID. It's disenfranchising. And I know you believe that, Tim. I know you believe that some black, but guess what? We need an ID to go to the club. We need an ID to go get our Duce. We need an ID to do we need an ID to get our food stamps. We have an ID. We're not stupid. We know how to get IDs. All these little things. So the bottom line is, we don't need your shame. We don't need your guilt. Stop passing laws that treat us like we are incapable of competing on a level playing field. We are not retarded. And that's my last words. So that being said, we want to thank everybody that hung in there with us. We went 2 hours tonight. It was a good conversation. We talked about some very important things that I believe, and I believe most of my panel believe, these conversations will help society as a whole. We don't need to be thinking about them politicians or what they think about us. We know who we live with. We know who we around. We know who we go to the grocery store with every day. We know who we in the laundromat with every day. We know who we in the bars with every day. We are with each other every day. Even people like Tim and me or whoever living, we don't need hate. We don't have to not like each other. You do not have to disown your family because they voted or a different way or have their reasons for voting that way. That might not be the reasons that you think they are. Everybody not a bigot. Everybody not racist. That's literally just not the case. It's not the case. We talked about love. We talked about accountability. But this whole live, I don't know if y'all noticed, was about keeping quiet and silencing. Men not being, saying, and I listen to Jamel, you know, and I can understand how a man would want to retreat back if he not feeling valued, if he not feeling listened to, or any of those things. But on the same other spectrum, I do also feel like men just need to start speaking up, but it is a way to do that. It is not screaming, it's not yelling, it's not whining, it's not complaining, or none of that. It's who you are and how you do it, but not the whining and complaining, and not the dominance and aggression. That is not leadership. So, but we're going to talk about all of this on February 22nd when my panel come to Intertwine Wine Bar right here in St. Louis. I'm so excited. We're going to have a live audience. I'm going to go out. We're going to play this for the people who didn't see it before. I want to make sure y'all come on out and see it. Okay? So.
Okay, let's be real. Modern dating isn't just broken, it's a crime scene. We've been sold a lie that situationships and hookup culture are enough, but on February 22nd, we are taking a sledgehammer to all of it. Love, lies, legacy. We out here to play games, and we ain't here to give you feel-good fluff. From the trap of modern feminism to why we have a generation of emotional men, we also got 15 minutes of intentional speed dating for you single ladies and men, 8 panelists and 0 filters. St. Louis, Missouri, Intertwine Wine Bar, February 22nd, starting at 2 p.m. I'll see you.
When women say they don't need a man, I stay away from them because they're mean.
Yep. So there you go. That's all us there is. And we got some guest panelists. Y'all have seen Yolanda Misunderstood on this panel before. She will be here. She is a dope female comedian, but she got some fire and she got some thoughts in her head too. We got Mr. Lee on there. We got Tim on there. Yes, you will get to meet Tim in person to give us all that wisdom. Scony, Miss Amberish, Spaces. And we got our guest speaker coming in. And when I tell you she is fire, she is fire. And she going to have a surprise coming up this month. And I'm going to be introducing that. So y'all going to be able to check her out. But with that being said, I'm just another brown girl in America trying to make common sense out of a not so common world. Bye.
Love you.